be sparking and rushing, man, like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about a bit of a follow-up on what happened in Boruto Chapter 40. Now, obviously, if you're an anime-only viewer, this part of the month is going to be very spoiler-heavy, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I thank you for your support. There's a link down in the description box for you guys to read the Boruto manga and do so in a way that supports the channel if you're interested in trying to get caught up. But with that being said, if you're still here, then I'm going to assume that you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So in Boruto Chapter 40, we get that very beautiful moment where Sarada basically awakens her 3 Tomoe Sharingan. And the reason I'm going to say awaken is because there were quite a few people who didn't realize that Sarada, to our knowledge, has had the 3 Tomoe Sharingan for over a year now. So back in 2018, when you had the first trilogy of Naruto novels that were set in the Boruto era, so this being the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel, the Sasuke the Teacher Star Pupil novel, and the Shikamaru Shinden novel, I believe it's the Forlorn Hope. When it comes to those novels, they're set after the events of the Versus Momoshiki arc, during the Majina Bandits arc, and directly right after the Majina Bandits arc. So when you get to the Sasuke novel, you have this moment where when Sasuke's training with Sarada, you have this moment where Sarada awakens her Sharingan, and it's revealed that after the Versus Momoshiki arc that Sarada actually got a 3 Tomoe Sharingan. Now, I know the anime has adapted quite a bit of things, and for a brief moment we saw Sarada with the 2 Tomoe Sharingan when you had everything going on with the Mitsuki desertion arc, but you have to keep in mind that all this is directly after the Versus Momoshiki arc. We didn't know when Sarada awakened the 3 Tomoe during this time skip, but what we do know is that during this moment in time, Sarada did have the 3 Tomoe Sharingan. Now, if you guys read the manga very closely, or if you watch the anime, but more in particular if you read the manga, if you'll notice during the Versus Momoshiki arc, we didn't see Sarada with her Sharingan. For a good portion of the series, we didn't see Sarada use her Sharingan in the manga. So this is why I say that this is very important, okay? When you look at it, you have a lot of time where Sarada could have awakened that 3 Tomoe Sharingan. And what I like what the anime is doing is the anime is gradually giving us more information about Sarada, so it opens up the door for the possibility that, given the fact that they look like they're trying to start setting up adapting the Sasuke Shinden novel, we're going to get information how Sarada awakened that 3 Tomoe Sharingan. I see a lot of people claiming that Sarada jumping from 1 Tomoe to 3 Tomoe is a bit of an ass pull, and I say this is what happens when you look at the anime only content and then you just jump into the manga, or you don't look at all the other content that we have with the novels and the data books, because a lot of that information does get brought back into the Boruto series. One thing that the Boruto series has gone out of its way to do is that it's borrowing information from all forms of the continuity, whether it be the novels, whether it be data book profiles, whether it be the little blurbs that Kishimoto would write at the end of the data books, or whether it be the various filler that happen in the Naruto franchise, either Naruto or Naruto Shippuden. All that stuff gets brought into the main continuity when the manga and when the anime are adapting various things. So I just wanted to kind of take this time to kind of tell you guys that that whole talking point that Sarada just magically jumped was absolute BS. And I'll go a step further, okay? For the people saying this, I want you to take a second and breathe and think for a second. So by that logic, we saw Obito and we saw Kakashi jump from a 2 Tomoe Sharingan to automatically having Mangekyo Sharingan. This is one thing that you have to look at. It isn't necessarily an ass pull, but you have to look at it from the fact that we're talking about chakra, we're talking about different characters being at different stages of progression. It's one thing you have to look at. Like, not necessarily it's going to be one of those things where, like Sasuke, when Sasuke's fighting Naruto at the Valley of the End, and Sasuke literally, as a defense mechanism, his Sharingan evolves during that fight. It's not necessarily going to be something like that. While it would be nice to see, since Sarada is a main character, we have to at least give the anime a chance to at least explain how she got to this point. Because, like, literally, when you go to the Sasuke Shinden novel, literally what the text says when it reveals that Sarada has the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, I'm literally reading it from the pages right here. Sarada shut her eyelids eyelids and then gazed with her eyes wide open with the Sharingan activated. She had red lights dwelling in her irises and 3 tomoes suspended within them, end quote. So like literally that's the only thing you get with Sarada having the 3 tomoe Sharingan, but that's a huge revelation. And I think that for people saying that they don't like the stance that the series has gone with this, I think that you have to look at it from this perspective. When we do get the Sasuke Shinden novel adapted, which I do think is going to happen, when this does happen, you're going to get that moment where you're going to see Sasuke training with Team 7, and in particular training Sarada, and so it opens up the door to flesh out a lot more of the material. Because one thing that the anime has done very well, in my opinion, is when it gets to manga content or when it gets to novel content, they flesh things out. While they do take some liberties, like they did with the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel, like they did with the Konoha Shinden novel, which is Mirai going into the land of hot water. When you look at those, they add in different things to fit the narrative of the anime continuity. So I think that when they do decide to do this, you're gonna have a similar situation. But I want to know from you guys, how does this guys help you feel when it comes to Sarada having the 3 tomoe Sharingan? Do you have a better understanding of it? And for those of you who called bullshit when I said that Sarada had the 3 tomoe Sharingan, how do you feel about that now? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.